How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, joined again by Ben. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. It's been a decent week. How have you been? Flying halfway across the country.
Fabulous, mate. Friggin' up to Newcastle to watch the boys get beat. Don't know why I do it myself, but, you know, a love of the club, I suppose. So, another loss, which I thought we should have friggin' got at least something out of. But again, you know, what do you say as a Jets fan of 2,500 people that decided to rock up? You know,
That's a bit sad.
what is it? We got robbed, or friggin', you know, we weren't good enough, or the players were shit, or the coaching staff's shit, or, you know, whatever the fans put in the friggin' social medias these days is friggin' ridiculous.
Why don't go anywhere near it?
That's it, mate. At the end of the day, we just weren't good enough. We just weren't good enough again. We just let them slip in, and they buried a chance, and we didn't take some of our own. So at the end of the day, it cost us, and here we are again, still sitting bottom. Other than that, welcome to everyone in the chat. Big shout out to our major sponsor, Gabriel Ma Optometrist at Jesmond there in Newcastle. Be sure to go check those guys out for all your eye care needs. So yeah, on tonight's show, we're lucky enough to be joined by a Perth Glory legend. 200 plus games for the club. Pretty much didn't really go anywhere else. Loved it over there, so he stuck it out there other than a little couple of loan deals and stuff like that. So yeah, Jamie Harnwell, Perth Glory legend. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
How's Perth treating you, mate?
Perth's always treating us well, mate. You know what it's like over on this side of the country, or maybe you don't. But no, we're going okay over here. The secession movement is going along well from the rest of Australia. So no, life's going okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say I know what it's like, but your government won't let anyone in, so it's hard to get over there, mate. It's a scary
Never been.
It's a scary place to go at the moment. You just don't know whether they're going to friggin' lock it up, especially with Melbourne 4 cases today. It's probably be shut come midnight to get over there. So risky business. But yeah, obviously you've been a bit on Fox Sports this season. Obviously with covering a few of the Perth games. What have the boys been like over there, mate? Obviously you're still, you know, you're Perth boys. Obviously still got to have a bit of a soft spot for them. What do you reckon, mate? Are they going to make the 6?
Look, you know, if you'd asked me this probably a couple of weeks ago, I would have said no chance. The way the results they've got, the way they've played across a pretty tough stretch of games, albeit all at home, but you know they're going from Wednesday, Sunday for a few weeks now. They've put themselves back in the mix. It's a tough road trip they've got to do now, though. Wellington, Brisbane, and then finishing up against you guys in Newcastle all across a week is a tough ask. So. Look, I'd like to see them get in. It'd be great to be able to see Diego Castro in particular sort of extend his glory career if this is the end of it. But in reality, geez, they're going to have to put a big shift in.
Yeah, well, currently 2 points out of the 6. I think 6 spots currently. Who's that at the moment? I can't remember now, but they're a game up in front of you guys. So yeah, time will tell, mate. As you said, it's the form you guys have had. It's pretty good, so only time will tell, and we'll find out, I guess, as you said, in a bit over a week what the go is there. Before we touch on obviously your early career, we're here, we may as well touch on it, and as you said, Castro. I was going to get your thoughts on him in general, mate. What do you reckon, mate? Perth legend? Do you put him down into that category? He's been an absolute servant for the league as a whole, but as a Perth fan, and obviously let's go from a supporter's point of view, one of the best.
I think you'd have to say so in terms of footballing abilities, up there with the very best that the club's ever seen, if not the A-League as well. The one, and it's not even a question mark. I suppose it's a disappointment for himself, is in terms of trophies. Won the Premier's Plate, and that. Unfortunately, is somewhat understated here in Australia about how important that is and how big that is. But not being able to go on to the big dance, being able to pick up the championship would be a disappointing thing for him. And it's something that I suppose a lot of Glory players are now ranked against in terms of that success that the club used to have. But as an individual, absolute joy to watch play. His ability, skill, composure. his enthusiasm for the game as a 38, 39-year-old still is incredible, and his humbleness as a person, without knowing him, outside of football or Fox Sports, but certainly the way he speaks, the way he interacts with people and the supporters. He comes across fantastically well balanced and a very humble person as well. So he's certainly up there with the best that Glory have had.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. He's definitely one of the best I've seen play there, and as I said, I've been lucky enough to watch plenty of football over my time, and there's definitely been some greats. Obviously, you can't go past your Bobby Despotovskis and yourself, and you put those boys, definitely put Castro into that category, especially with strike power. Like your Bobbies and stuff like that.
I wouldn't be putting myself in the same category as Castro, that's for sure.
Not up front.
Maybe a number of games I've got him, but that's about it.
Not up front. We won't put you up front. We'll leave you in the back line. But obviously, what I want to talk to you about, obviously, is one of the hot topics back in 2000 was that NSL Grand Final. If anyone hasn't seen it, and you can surely it's on YouTube somewhere, or at least highlights of it or something. Pretty much one of the best grand finals in Australian football history, as far as I'm concerned. Talk me through it, mate. I know it was a long time ago. 3-0 up at halftime. You scored the third one heading into halftime. At halftime, friggin' surely you thought you had that one, yeah?
Yeah, look, I would have been, just about to turn 21 at the time. It was my second season playing for Glory as well, to be involved in such an occasion. One of the best, if not the best game I've ever been involved with, and it's hard to say that when you're on the receiving end of what happened, but certainly over time that mellowed, and the fact I got to win a couple more helped as well off the back of that. But look, it just, it's an incredible occasion. 42 and a half odd thousand people crammed in at Subiaco Oval. There's a lot of nervousness going into the game. It was two teams that never won it before. I was worried about my place in the team. We'd won in the semi-final. Had players like Lubo Milicevic, Edgar Jr., myself, Gareth Naven, Dion Valley. A huge number of players available. Unfortunately for us, it was Gareth Naven. Club captain who was left on the bench, and that's a whole different story, I suppose. But then to go in 3-0 up, you're absolutely bubbling along. It's hard to remember bits and pieces around the team talk. I know that there's sort of some sorts stuff around. Bernd Stanger was telling us to go score 6 and to keep going, but you always knew that Wollongong were a really good side. Stuart Young, Matty Horsley, Chipperfield, Paul Reed. A huge number of great players that they had, and went on to be very successful as well. And probably one thing we'd say is we didn't make changes early enough when Wollongong started to gain the ascendancy. Gave them a really soft goal. I think might have been the first one, was a free kick when Ivan Ergic played Matty Horsley onside and scored. And from that point, you knew you were in for a fight. We had our chances. We could have put the game to bed. Didn't, and when Paul Reed scored the third, that was a bit of a sickening moment, obviously, to take us through to extra time. Again, in penalties, extra time was probably a bit of Draper fair. It's hard to remember exactly, but penalties, we had 2 opportunities to win the game with Alistair Edwards and Edgar Jr., and both of those players I'd have put my house on scoring. I think ABC were interviewing Nick Tarner, the owner at the time, basically saying it's a done deal when one of them was stepping up to take the penalty. So it was just an incredible game, and made Perth Glory something what it was. There was that hunger, that disappointment. I remember, the fans crying after the game in the pub. That was just something that the club had to rebuild from, had to get over, and it took a couple of years, but then made that next one so much sweeter.
Yeah, he got there in the end a couple of years later, done the double. Obviously, the main one, winning the final NSL Grand Final before it obviously changed. But obviously, as you were saying, the penalties, extra time. You go into penalties, obviously, you get your 5 penalties. Your best and what the coach thinks anyway. Your best 5 penalty takers, and then both sides, all five finishing it, and you go in level after all 5 pens. It's like shit.
I don't want to take the next one.
Yeah, like surely it's you sort of got to be thinking back then. It's like fuck, we 3-0 up, and here we are. We're now on a struggle street. But as you said, two great saves obviously from Wollongong's goalkeeper and then that was pretty much the end of it. Chipperfield ended up getting player of the match, and Wollongong went on to win it. So yeah, but obviously again, as you said, it was an amazing game to watch. And as I said, Chad, if you haven't seen it, go. You'll find it somewhere. You'll find, if you can't find the full game, you'll find highlights and stuff of it. It was an absolute cracking match from start to finish. Even the 3 goals at half time, and then Wollongong, obviously their comeback. It was something special. Obviously not for a Perth fan, as you said though.
Yeah.
Obviously we go from that, and obviously, as you said, you won a few eventually. And let's be honest, obviously, I think everyone, I'm 32, we were pretty young back then, but Perth's dominance, they were so strong, in those final couple of years. What was it like for you guys transitioning from that NSL to the A-League? Was there much change from your point of view, or was it pretty much smooth transition and away you went?
No, it was a huge change. If you speak about the last couple of years of the NSL, we were a full-time club. There weren't many other clubs in the NSL that were full-time. We had the targets on our back. We knew that. We knew that clubs loved coming over to play at Perth Oval in front of big crowds, noisy crowds, good atmosphere. But the league around us was dying. In essence, so those great rivalries we had against Newcastle was one that made the transition. The South Melbournes, the Wollongongs, Northern Spirit for a short spell as well. Parramatta Power when they came in, when we go away from home, we wouldn't see the same sort of crowds that we did, and you knew there had to be some sort of change, but it probably came at the wrong time for Glory. I think if it happened a couple of years before, that excitement would have continued with the club and what was going on. But by that stage, the club had been beating their head against the wall in terms of trying to make sure it was more professional and marketed well and all those sort of things. And the break, the 18 months or so that it was from the NSL to the A-League was really hard for the club to maintain momentum. You also then had new clubs being formed with good resources that were desperate to make a mark in their respective markets. The Victory, Sydney, all these teams were coming in and doing what Perth Glory had done previously and being professional, having good training facilities, of doing all these things. And as a club, we didn't stay ahead of the pack. We dropped back. It was difficult to accept. There was a different group of players. There wasn't the same camaraderie, I suppose, and a group that had grown together, had won things together. That started to splinter off and to leave as some players got better offers elsewhere or had gone overseas or retired altogether. So it was a real challenge for us going into that first A-League season, and it proved that way with how we went. We were never the leading lights. I think we were in about 4th spot with a couple of games to go when Steve McMahon left us. Might have been mid-season, and then drifted out of the finals race. And for myself and for a club that just expected success and expect is probably the wrong word, or thought that we would always be successful, the work was always put in. But that was then a tough thing to swallow, that we weren't guaranteed to finish in the finals, that you weren't going to necessarily have these big games at Subi Oval or wherever it might be. And that was a difficult thing for the club to get over, and it took a fair amount of time before we did finally make the finals.
Yeah, it was, I said it was hard. It was hard to, just think that Perth they dropped, they just were never really in it, and as I said, from so much high, obviously at the later ends of the NSL and stuff like that, and as you said, the players and stuff these guys had, and then for it just to die essentially. It was hard, obviously, even as a not a Perth fan. Obviously, Newcastle born and bred, but at the same time, knowing what Perth were capable of, and then for it never to happen, it was always, you know, I don't know about Ben, but I always had like this little soft spot. You know, you wanted to see him do something, especially from the history they had.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, who wants to see Melbourne Victory do well, or your Sydney FCs and, you know, stuff like that.
Yep.
You'd rather see so obviously the last couple of seasons, it's been good. You know, it's been good to see them obviously back up to where they need to be and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously you finished up midway through. Obviously, you know, the A-League. What were your final seasons like there, mate? How did that all go down? Were you, because you weren't that old, were you, when you retired? If I'm correct.
No, I was 33.
Yeah.
When I retired, the past 4 years, realistically, from probably the second year of the A-League, was a challenge for me. Ron Smith come in and didn't really fancy me as a centre back, and was sort of knew that I wasn't necessarily on his plans. I was lucky enough I got moved up front and scored a couple of goals, which prolonged my time, especially with Ron anyway, and stuck around. Did enough, scored enough goals to stay in and around the team for a period of time. When Dave Mitchell took over, that was sort of a new lease of life for myself. The players that were coming in, the likes of Jacob Burns, Milos Stojovskis, Chris Coyne, Andy Todd, you'd started to think and see that, well, hang on, no, I think we're back in, and Mitch maybe, feel good about my spot in the squad. I felt important again, and was looking forward to continuing to play. And we had a great start. I think it was my last season with Robbie Fowler had joined us as well, and I think after 5-6 games we were top of the league. Yeah. And then for whatever reason, the bubble just completely burst, and we couldn't win a game. We couldn't buy a game, and that really, after thinking that we were going to get there, having our first taste of finals football. I think the year before, I was playing an important part early in the season, and then you start to struggle. I had a couple of little calf twinges, which is an old man's injury. I got told very quickly that season as well, and then it was just a free fall. Unfortunately, Dave Mitchell got moved upstairs into more of a TD type of role, and Ian Ferguson took over and was looking to rebuild. So, I was pretty low down in the list of priorities of re-signing for the following season. There was a couple of sniffs from over east or overseas, continue my career. But I wasn't really enjoying the football. At that time, I'd done the travel. It's a hard slog from Perth. Every second week you're on a plane for, a minimum of 3 or 4 hours. And it just got to the point where I wasn't enjoying. I actually got sent off my second last game playing against Central Coast. And Matty Simon was jumping up for a header, and I saw him coming and just threw my elbow out and caught him a cracker across the chin and got sent off. And as I walked off the pitch, normally I'd been fuming and guilty at the referee or something, and I couldn't muster that emotion or that disappointment. I came home that night and sort of spoke to my wife and just sort of said, I think that's it. I said, I think I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And that was pretty much my decision. So Glory would probably say that I wasn't going to get re-signed anyway, but I walked in and said, look, no, that's me. I'm done. And, I had the opportunity to start working in football with Football West and doing some stuff that I wanted to continue, and just felt it was the right thing to do. I could have probably pushed another year or two out of my career and gone to, I'd obviously go to Singapore and other bits and pieces, but it just felt to be the right decision.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Welcome, Ben, mate, into the chat. And thank you to the guys who obviously are now hosting this on their YouTube and Twitch. It's fantastic. Obviously,
let's be brutally honest. An elbow to Matty Simon is not a red card offence.
I think I chipped his tooth as well, is what I got told. I don't know if that's true. It wasn't a nice way to, and I was quite lucky. There were three games left in the season, 2 games. It wasn't long, and if I'd got a 3-week suspension, I would have missed the final home game. So I was lucky. I only got 2 weeks. So I got to play at home for the last time. Actually, the final game of the season was against Newcastle. And I don't mean to be disparaging all guys, but I looked at it and went, I don't fancy that one. I'll sign off at home at this one, thanks.
Wizard of Wee Wee, maybe we got a free 2 somewhere. Royalty out there. Obviously you talked before you finished your career, as you said, you were sort of, you said you were starting to get on the outer and stuff like that. You made a quick trip over to the Swiss Super League. Is that possibly a reasoning behind that? Of obviously on the outer, and it was sort of an opportunity come about to sort of get out.
That was what was that? Probably a year or 2 earlier. It's something been bubbling on for a couple of years. I'd been over on trial for Vaduz. We were playing in the Swiss second division, and they flew me over, had a week's trial, did well, and then they changed manager. And the chance came about. I think it was the end of Dave Mitchell's first season to go, and I'd always wanted to. I had a short spell at Leyton Orient that wasn't particularly successful from a team or a personal point of view, and always wanted another challenge. And I don't know if you've ever been to Liechtenstein or Vaduz, but you're sitting in the Swiss Alps. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. And it was just an opportunity to go somewhere else and play football for 3 or 4 months. The A-League had finished. There was nothing much going on and hold me back. So jumped the opportunity, won the Liechtenstein Cup. I think I was the first Aussie to do so, which isn't hard when you're the only professional team playing against amateur sides in the country. But we got promotion to the Swiss Super League, and that was the first time that had happened in the club's history. I was lucky enough in the final game, played pretty well. We had to get a point out of the last game against the bottom side, and we dug out a 0-0 draw and made a couple of good tackles and what have you. So that was just a great time. My wife had come over. I had my then 2-year-old daughter, so we're living in a 1-bedroom place halfway up the Swiss Alps in winter and snow and what have you. So I had a great 3 or 4 months over there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was about to say, Vaduz since then have turned into a bit of a yo-yo team in the Swiss Super League.
Yeah, they have.
They've always sort of been up and about.
Yeah, it's a small town, lovely little stadium. Crowds around 1,500, 2,000 when I was there. But it's just so much money in that country, as well as a nice little tax haven in some of those places. But just good people. Really enjoyed that, and that was the start of their yo-yo. I suppose I managed to get them up the first season. I think I played about 13 games or so. They spoke about me potentially returning. I had another year or 2 on my contract at Glory. Wife had become pregnant and with our second and stuff. So for different reasons, it didn't work out. But something that sits in the game room is that is the championship medal from that Swiss second division, which is something I cherish just as much as what the Glory Championships one were.
Absolutely, take what you can, especially any chance. Obviously an Aussie, dreaming of playing professional football. You can get a chance anywhere to get overseas. It's, you take it with both hands.
You take it.
Absolutely. Well, obviously you finished your career and everything else. Went and played a bit at Sorrento, obviously where you pretty well started your junior career and stuff like that. Then got into a bit of coaching. So obviously you've done a bit of coaching. You went to, you were at Sorrento there, obviously currently. Bit of what you had, the Perth Glory women and the Adelaide United women as well. We'll talk a bit about obviously that per the 2014, 13, one I think it's 14 Perth Glory side there where he's won that. He's come, you didn't win the final obviously, but premiers. With however many games that was, 12 games or something, whatever it was this season.
Bonkers.
But the squad, the squad, you can't go past that squad. Like you could, your forwards. Who else was in there? Kerr was obviously there, superstar now. I can't remember who else was there.
Kate Gill, Asian Player of the Year. Colette McCallum, that was her final season. And Matilda as well. Mackenzie Arnold, who's now at West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
Alana Kennedy,
Yep.
now at Tottenham. Shalina Zadorsky, the Canadian international, who's also at Tottenham, and Caitlin Ford at Arsenal. So, yeah, you look back and unbelievably talented squad. Some really great support by some of the unsung players through that squad as well. Alyssa DeVideo, long-time servant, Mariana Tabane, Shannon May, Sarah Carroll, ones underneath Sean Billum. It was just such a really good group. Broke a number of records, and probably the disappointing thing, is Melbourne City came into the league the following year, and I would have loved to have seen that team against Melbourne City to challenge.
True.
What Melbourne City did that following season was unbelievable. They were a great team, huge number of Matildas, well organised, great resources. But that team, that squad was just incredible. It was an absolute pleasure to coach, and just disappointing on that. We had our worst game that we played all season, probably in the grand final, and just never clicked, which would have been a nice way to do. And I know, Kate Gill finished after that game. Clint McCallum would have been, Kate's a good, proud Newcastle, Novocastrian originally as well. So just disappointed for those girls that they weren't able to sign off with a W League Championship medal. But they broke so many records that season. It was just a joy to watch at times, and without really, how do you coach Sam Kerr and Caitlin Ford what to do? You don't. You just, there's the ball. There's the goal. Off you go.
Well, that brings me to the next question. Is the simple one of, there's no one in Australia who doesn't know who Sam Kerr is these days, and her ability, her skill, her drive. How much she wants to win, and stuff like that. What was she like in the change rooms? How much of an impact does she play in a squad?
Look, I think she certainly grew through that time, and when she later became captain of Perth Glory, she was always a bubbly character, infectious. Even at training, wanted to win. Just doing some stupid stuff at times, diving on 20 balls laid out, and she would go do the Superwoman dive across the top of them and see how far she can roll. But it's just a really good group, and you had senior players like Kate Gill, like Colette, guiding and managing Sammy. She learnt a lot from that. But she was a pleasure to coach. She wanted to learn. She wanted to get better. And when you jokingly say you don't need to teach them anything, you're always just trying to affect little runs that she can make, and be a little bit cuter in some of the stuff that she does. But to see her rise is absolute credit to herself. She was always a special player, but she's just gone on to show how good she actually can be. And it's nice to have been able to coach her and to spend the 6 months or so, and not just with her, but I look back fondly and watch those girls who are now in the UK playing, to have had some interaction with them, and to have played a part in what they've, well, not even played a part, they've done it themselves, but to be able to be a part of what they've done is very pleasing, and better than winning the medals in some ways as well.
Well, at the end of the day, you wouldn't have got there without your coaching ability, mate. So don't be short on yourself there.
I think some people would argue that with the squad we had.
Oh, mate, the best players in the world, but freaking some of the best players in the world can't be coached. So obviously we're going to quickly dive in on it, because I know it's a tough, raw story. But at the end of that season, everything that happened, take the grand final out of it, the squad, the season, everything. You guys were then owned by, was it Western Australia Football?
Football West, yeah.
Football West, yeah. And then obviously Perth Glory have taken over the rights after that season and everything else. You obviously feel that, you move on and let's get next season underway, and who's staying, who's coming and going, and you're looking forward to next season, and then get told that you've got to reapply. Like, I don't know if anyone else knows this in the chat, like, guys, like, you've won the Premier's Plate, you've got the squad, you've done everything, but you have one shit game, and unfortunately it happened at the grand final, and then to be told after breaking records and stuff like that, you're being told
You need to reapply for your job.
You've got to reapply for a job that is yours currently. It's not vacant. It's yours.
You're up against yourself.
Yeah, you're up against yourself at this point. Perth legend, as you know, as we keep saying. And what goes through your head there?
Yeah, that was
Seriously?
it was a difficult time. I worked for Football West as well, so sort of there's perfect synergies of me coaching Perth Glory Women. I coached the underpinning NTC Girls Academy side as well. I did the budgets, did the logistics and stuff. So I was pretty heavily invested across the program, what it meant, and the effort that got put into it. I think Football Australia, as they are now, FFA at the time, wanted the A-League teams to take back control of the W League to have a single club and a single point. And I absolutely agree with that. In that point, but look, I mean, I wasn't under any contract. There was nothing that said I had to coach the club the next year. But to be told that you need to reapply and your application will be considered. You look back and you think, do you make the right decisions? Maybe I was a bit pig-headed and could have approached things a bit differently. But for me, it was it was the culmination of 4 years I'd helped to build the club up and come from some pretty tough times in the first year of coaching. I still hold, I think, the league record defeat of 11-0 against Sydney FC in my first season of coaching the W League. So that's something that lives with me for a long, long time. But to then get told you've got to reapply, it wasn't a nice time for me. I didn't think it was handled particularly well by the club.
Kick in the teeth.
Yeah, they were going through a transition and they'd had their own challenges as well across that space and earlier with the salary cap and what have you that went along with that as well. So, it wasn't nice, but then I was fortunate enough to be given another opportunity at Adelaide United, and it was, something completely different. I hadn't considered moving away for coaching or anything like that. So to have that faith shown to me to go to another club to try and build and replicate what I'd done at Perth Glory was great. I learned a lot about myself at that time, and I was probably lucky compared to a lot of professional footballers. I never spent too much time away from home. I wasn't without family or friends for 6 months, 12 months on end like some footballers have to do. But that I spent a fair chunk of time on my own over in Adelaide, working through my coaching and trying to build up a good bunch of girls over in Adelaide. And, I think at the time that was the most successful season that Adelaide United had. We just missed out on the finals without a single Matildas player. Some international players that have gone on to do very well, and one's a current US international, Abby Del Kemper. So it's a sliding doors thing. I never would have got the opportunity to do that, to experience it, to live in Adelaide for 6 months and see if what I could do actually worked outside of Perth.
Yeah. Yeah, as you said, it's one of those things. You've got to think though. Like you reapply. Surely you've got the job. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Bobby who came in after you.
Yeah.
But it's like, surely they're going to give him the job. But as you said, it's like, why should I have to reply? Just tell me. We want to keep you on next season, or you don't. So it's No, I'm with you. I'd be pissed. I'd be ropeable. I'd be like, oh, bugger that. I'm not going through that shit. You don't want me in, so see you later. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You moved on, and as you said, you went to Adelaide. Completely different ballpark over there. It's their youth system over there is, I reckon, probably the best in the league, in my opinion. I'd agree with that. What they can produce out of their youth system. I don't know too much about obviously the women's side of things there, but their male youth system is just.
Yeah, no, they had a really great system over there. Again, the team was owned by Football Federation South Australia at the time. It wasn't Adelaide United, so they're trying to do things as best they can while managing competing priorities. But I look at the Adelaide United team now, and there's still a couple of young players. Emily Condon's one who played in the team that I had. There's a couple others as well that you see that have come through, and that's a really pleasing thing to see that there's still players there. My family came over for 3 weeks and got absolutely spoiled rotten. The kid, I think the eldest would have been, 8. 8 or 9 by then, so not particularly old. And the girls just, absolutely took a shine to all three of them. They still talk about those days and missing, Georgia Campagnoli was one. She's still playing now. Mariana Rachich, who's actually in AFLW now, they still remember those times as well. So it was great for that. And it was great to be somewhat, as much as I'm a proud Perth person and love WA, it was great to spend a bit of time elsewhere in Australia. And Adelaide was great. I loved it. I got to focus on my coaching. The setup was great in terms of the venues and everything. And I just got to get on with the job. So it was it was a challenge coming in. I don't know whether the CEO they're expecting me to bring Sam Kerr with me over to Adelaide or not. But I wasn't able to do that. But we made the best with what we had.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, we may as well finish up on the coaching scenario of, obviously, as you said, you're still coaching locally now. Sorrento, big club, FA Cup, all that sort of stuff as well. Do you see yourself coaching at a higher level someday?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd never rule it out. I had a couple of opportunities to move into Asia through assistant coaching roles and others with people I know, but the timing I suppose was never quite right. The 3 kids and not being an ex Premier League footballer with the wages they command is that most of the people who come out of the A League are still living with the realities of mortgages and what have you. So there's a bit of self-preservation there, I suppose, for want of a better word. But I love my coaching. I can't run around anymore. My body doesn't let me, so it gives me that chance to be back on the grass. I enjoy what I do, that couple of hours out of the day that I don't have to concentrate on work or fixturing or anything else that goes on around Football West. So it's never say never. But as the kids get a little bit older and less dependent on mum and dad, and the opportunity to see what else is out there certainly appeals. And it's just, trying to maintain relevance in the meantime. I suppose the last thing you want to do is disappear for 5 years and then you come back and put your hand up and say, well, no, I want to coach, and no one remembers who the hell you are anyway.
Oh, bloody hell. No disrespect to our current crop at the Jets, but we'll take you, mate. Anytime.
You leave me, my mate Craig Deans alone. I'll go a long way back with.
We love Deansy.
Well, Deansy's part. We'll see, Deansy's out of the women's job now, so freaking that's fine. He's moved on. He's moving well, but no, again, nothing against coaching stuff and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's hard.
We'll gladly take Zad's back.
Oh yeah, Zadkovic.
We'll have Zad's back.
It's good to see. It's good to see, obviously, former A-League players and stuff like that, obviously doing well in the coaching ranks. Obviously, good to see Carl Dodd come back to us. Obviously, I think after what he's learned, obviously overseas for Guam and stuff like that, it'll be good for us next year and stuff like that. But as you said, all the other ones that are now getting into the coaching gigs. So at the end of the day, you got a brain for it. Let's use it at some level.
I think it's great just to see that change up as well. Sorry, guys. There was a time when it would be. And the same coaches would be the same ones bandied around. We'll get this job, get the next job, get the job after. So, Richie Garcia here at Perth has done a pretty good, you could say a really good job given the circumstances being given. Deansy there as well. You talk about Ruben now underpinning that. You got Steve McGarry as an assistant here at Glory. McBreen. There's some young, Christ, we're not that young anymore, but relatively young coaches who are coming in, and that's what you want to see. You want to see more Australian coaches and people coming up through those ranks. So long may it continue.
Well, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? It's just so many. You said you've named so many. Labby and stuff at Western Sydney still, and
Labby, Hayden Fox, another one.
Yeah, a few of the other boys.
But flies under the radar.
The biggest thing we had Branko Kalina on a while back, and he brought up a really good point where he said that the new coaches coming through and stuff like that, like your ex-A-League players and stuff, should be coaching at the A-League. Should be coaching at this level and moving and allowing the older guys, like your Ernie Merricks and stuff like that, and investing their time in obviously the youth. That's something he said that he would like to see, is obviously the older guys going back to the youth scenario and really trying to revamp the youth system and stuff like that. And then obviously,
basically to push through grassroots more.
Yeah. Take their obviously amount of knowledge and stuff like that to obviously a youth scenario where you guys you're coming off the A League, you're there, you're right in it right now. You know what I mean? It's still you finished that 10 years ago, but it's fresh in your mind and within the league. So let's give these guys the chance and move the old guys back to obviously bringing up some new talent, because at the end of the day,
it's that question, isn't it, guys? I mean, where do you want your best coaches? Do you necessarily want them in the A League when you've got what is pretty much the finished product? Or do you actually want them when they're 10, 12, 14 years old, when you can affect and nurture a player? So there's a real investment logic across that win, as a game, if we're going to talk a little bit more philosophical about trying to make sure we've got those great coaches at the appropriate age groups to develop, because it's the only way we're going to get better as a footballing nation.
Yeah, 100%. Because Branko's, he's currently coaching out at one of the schools or something like that. He's doing a bit of school coaching and stuff like that, which is good. Like I said, who wouldn't want to be coached by someone of his caliber and experience? And the youngsters are going to listen. They're going to learn so much. And that's the biggest thing, as you said. We want the country, we want the league to grow, but we want obviously the country to grow as well. And our youth, it could be doing a lot better, in my opinion. Our youth system. We had who we have on the other week, Ben, where we were talking about Andy Harper, and we were talking about obviously youth products. Obviously, we came from a Newcastle point of view. You could obviously talk from a Perth point of view, of WA point of view, of grassroots youth. Local, homegrown, you know what I mean? Like Newcastle, it's massive town, massive history, with obviously some of the biggest footballing stars coming out of Australia, out of the Hunter, but nothing for ages. You know what I mean? There hasn't been. It's dead currently. I don't know what it's like in Perth. You sort of feel the same thing. Obviously, you're coaching at Sorrento.
Yeah, it's a hard one, because we had we've had such a talented group of players come through. How do you live up to your Vidukas, Kules? They're once in a generation, once in a moon type players, and there was such a strong group of them. I think that the pathway's still there. For me, it comes back to the amount of football they play outside of their clubs. That was me growing up. Would be my brother kicking a ball after school, or watching my dad play on a weekend and finding 5 or 6 mates, or just random people, wasn't even mates, that you go have a kick around with. And that was similar to a lot of those guys as they grow. For whatever reasons, kids don't necessarily do that as much. There's probably more structured training. They get less opportunity just to play and experiment. So there's something to be said for that. But there's such a huge participation base that we can't forget either. I know there's a lot of focus is on the top end of the game and the pathway, and so it should. But if we continue to grow that base, then you're going to get more and more talented players come through just by sheer weight of numbers. And that's a real focus over here, because we're parochial, and same as Newcastle. We want to see WA born and bred players playing for glory. And if they do that, then they're probably going to get a little bit more slack than an overseas player or an over east player would. That was certainly the case for me. I was a very, very raw 21-year-old or 20-year-old when I signed for Perth Glory. If I hadn't been a local lad, I think I would have been booed off the pitch on a couple of games because of how bad I was. So, it brings players back in, it brings fans back in, and gets that engagement from your local community, which is what all clubs should be built on, regardless if they're A-League or below.
Yeah, it's just.
I think coming out of Western Australia, we need more stand demands.
Wouldn't mind producing a few more of those, that's for sure.
And I didn't use him as an example purely based on the fact that I'm a Birmingham City supporter.
It's a topic we could sit here and talk for hours about. Obviously, the Australian game as a whole, and what needs to work and what needs to happen. We've had so many past guests on here, state that some of the best times in their career were obviously at the AIS. And just how instrumental it was at such a young age. Playing every day, playing in competitions every week. It was, nearly 365 days a year turnaround.
It gave us our 06 golden generation.
100%. 100%. But obviously nowadays there's nothing like that. Your youth systems for your A-League clubs, whether it's not the same. They play 16, 18 matches and then it's done did. And then they've got to wait till the next A-League season or whatever it is, or find another local club or whatever. Is where, it's just the biggest thing. We've had past players that are still overseas and everything else. We spoke to Jason Colina and stuff, and same thing. It's not this Europe. It's not the same as Europe. You know what I mean? Where they just play all the time. They can easily take a trip to another European country, and that's where they'll have little tournaments. It's where here, it's not that simple. We can't just go, righto, we're going to have Team New South Wales and we're going to travel to Perth, or we're going to travel to Brisbane, and it's like an every week thing. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to see where we need to improve. What's your thoughts on the second division? Do you see that happening sooner rather than later?
I would love to. I'm certainly, I'm a big believer. If you look at any football pathway in the world outside of probably, USA and one or two others like that, promotion and relegation is an integral part of football. It's not a franchise model as such. There's got to be the ability to do well and to succeed, and there's got to be the ability to when you do badly to fall out. So I would like to see that done. It is difficult just given the breadth of our country, the costs that are involved, and making sure first and foremost that the A-League is and continues to be a commercially successful model. Because like it or not, we need the dollars to be there. We need the eyes on the product to continue to try and grow the game outside of our participation base, which is our sport's greatest strength and unmatched by virtually any other sport. It's got to be carefully constructed. We've got a 12-month calendar at the moment, which is full of football, and it's something that most other countries don't have. We probably don't exploit that enough, in my mind, and do it well enough to make sure that stays relevant for people across the 12 months. But yeah, I would love to see a second division coming, because then it starts to really give value to who finishes down the bottom of the A-League. If you're at the in the last one or two, it's not about blooding kids then for the next season. It's about, we need to win to stay in this competition. I think that'll add real grittiness to those end of season games for those clubs that aren't involved in finals. It gives more players an opportunity to play at a higher level as well, which is a good thing. Gives more coaches opportunities. It's making sure that it's sustainable and it's a long-term thing that we can use, and that's the biggest problem, I suppose, or the challenge that the game will have is how to, how do you manage it? Is it a East-West conference? Is it North-South? How many games you play? And it's a challenge, but there's certainly an appetite from all over the game, from Football Australia down, to try and make it happen, which I think is a good thing. It's just making sure those conversations are across why we're doing it, what's the best part of it for the game, the good of the game type stuff, and building out a model that looks and encapsulates the traditional elements of the game that we've had for so long, and tying that in with the future.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think Ben and I have said it on numerous occasions. Yeah, my only, it's not a concern. It's just just watching the A-League now, and you watch obviously your NPL players, and they take that step from the NPL to the A-League. It's massive. You know what I mean? It's not like a little step. It's not like, oh yeah, cool, no worries, I've been lucky enough to get a contract by the Jets, and you walk in there and it's the same. You know what I mean? It is such a big step going from what you've been doing for the last, say, couple of years or whatever at local NPL, and then you go into that. It is so many players that I feel just, they don't make it. You know what I mean? They don't cut it. They sign that 6-month contract or whatever, and then
they drop back.
They're quickly back to the NPL just because it's just, so that way it's like, that's for me is the biggest thing. It's the hardest thing in my mind. It's how can we progress that that step to be not as big. The second division would help that, in my mind, but also it would help obviously some of your probably your A-League players that are on their way out. Whether that be old or just have been really lacking game time because of injuries and stuff like that. You bring them back down to that second division, and then it's almost like a seniority thing. Oh wow, But I suppose we could use Ben Kanarowski. Is a great example of that. Legend at the club at Newcastle, homegrown talent, but injury prone at the moment. Like he's struggling to get on the pitch. Someone for him, I think going back a step would be, I don't know, might rejuvenate the remainder of his career. I don't know. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, that second division. It's how early do you do it? It's a risky thing. But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it needs investment from the clubs. It needs, clubs to be able to stand up. And, I'm not sure about Newcastle, but certainly from a Western Australian point of view, we don't have pokies or gaming in clubs over here. So you're losing a source of revenue. They don't have restaurants attached to them like some of the bigger clubs in New South Wales and Victoria. And the other thing you've got to remember is that football's still a brutal game as well. So, you're talking about players stepping up and not being able to make the grade. Unfortunately, that's par for the course. If you're not good enough, then or you're not able to adapt, because there's certainly plenty of players who've stepped up, who've had the potential and the talent to be able to do so, but for whatever reason haven't, whether that's physical, whether that's mental, strength of character. I think we've got to be careful that we don't try and soften the game too much either, because it's a brutal world. You're a commodity as a player and as a coach as well, and if you don't do the job, you're not. But I think there's been enough success stories, and just look at Perth Glory this year. You got Luke Bodnar, who stepped up, had a season in the local league. Callum Timmins, Daniel Steins, 3 young players who were previously in and around the A-League squads, stepped out for a year or two and have been brought back in and arguably some of Glory's best players in the last few weeks as well. So I think there's talent there, certainly. It's how we can close the gap from our NPL or second division then to A-League. But, there's an element there of the individual players just have to take it on board, step up, because this is your livelihood, this is their dream on the line, and it's never a nice thing being told you're not good enough. And I've got that a few times over years, usually from your own supporters. But that's the world we live in. That's the reality of professional sport.
100%. Well, as I said, mate, we do thank you for coming on and giving up, as I said, an hour of your time, obviously, to talk a bit of football and stuff. We are going to slowly close it down. We virtually, just a couple of quick ones. I'll virtually just give you the question, and you just, sort of a yes or no, real short, simple.
Quick fires.
Quick fire sort of ones, obviously. But before I do that, there is obviously one thing. There's one. It's hard for me to say this, mate, seriously. We've got to talk about the A-League Legends match. Now, I'm a diehard Liverpool fan, so I know you're a United fan. I know you've grown up supporting the Red Devils and stuff like that. What was that like, playing against, obviously, some of the players that, you watched through your childhood, and obviously, what's his name? Shit, it's gone blank now. Who was coaching there at the time? Who coached that match? For them, bloody
Brian Robson.
Robson.
Yes.
Yeah, Robson. So obviously, friggin' Manchester legend. He's Paul Scholes, Dwight York, stuff like that in the squad. What was it like, mate? How did it come about? Was it just simple, I don't know, email or something like that? Do you want to play, or did you have to bang down doors to get you?
No, it's like that. I suppose it helps sometimes knowing people in high places. Obviously, came through the Dylan Tombides Foundation. Such a worthy cause. It was actually Simon Colosimo, who I played with at Glory, was I think still the PFA president or something at the time. Just gave me a ring out of the blue and said, we're organising a game against the United Legends. You fancy a run? And obviously, the answer is yes. There's nothing else that you can say. But, while the game was an awesome experience, just, being able to spend time, both teams were put up at a hotel, able to mingle. I've got about 7 shirts signed from my collection by the guys. And yeah, just good people. I remember after the game, and Robbie Dunn was coaching ex-Socceroo, WA product. He only put me on for the last 15 minutes because he was worried about my ankle, which I was devastated about. But that's probably all I could last anyway. And I went up to Mikhail Sylvester and asked for his shirt. And he said, "Look, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to give it away or not." And so I walked off, gutted. Some of the other boys have got shirts and stuff like that. So, you got to be kidding me. And about 15, 20 minutes later, there was a knock on the change room door. Their kit man came in, said, I think I was number 5 on the night or number 2. Here, this is from Mikhail. And so he'd obviously gone in, asked the question, found out, and you just think, they're just normal people. They're decent people. So that was a great touch. But then probably the overwhelming one was the night afterwards, and I'm not trying to make light of drinking or anything like that, but I still remember leaving one of the establishments, and Brian Robson, at whatever age he was then or is now, going very, very strong. While the rest of us have slinked off to bed because we're absolutely knackered and had enough, and Robbo was still there. Being the life and just solid as a rock. But I grew up idolising Robbo. He was my childhood hero to get a photo, to spend a bit of time. And when he came on towards the end of the game, straight away, I was like, whatever Robbo wants to do, Robbo does. He's not allowed to be tackled. Don't go near him. Make it look like you're trying to do, but you don't touch him. And that was just awe-inspiring to be able to share the pitch with some of those players. It was a dream come true.
Yeah, I believe Scholesy only lasted about 20 minutes. I think.
Yeah, I think pinged his groin or something.
Yes.
Done his groin early and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, Jesus. This could be catastrophic.
Here we go.
Yeah, waiting for Dwight York and that just to fall over. But yeah, good to see, obviously, those guys coming out. And, as you said, for a good cause. Rightio, so we're going to quickly end it up. We're just going to fire some questions at you. Just give us your answer, and we'll finish it up with that. W League, what are your thoughts on the W League? What needs to be improved?
It needs to go to a full home and away season for starters. This should be one of the top leagues in the world. We need the investment to back that. It's got a fantastic place there, but certainly as a minimum, full home and away season. As a coach in it, and you scour the fixtures to see which team you got twice and which one you only got once. Yeah. That's not the way we should be running it. So that would be my first thing.
Absolutely. Women's World Cup 2023. Your thoughts? How do we? What do you want to see out of that? What do you want to see come out of that?
I suppose a long-lasting change in public perception of what the world game is. I still don't think people quite get it. When you speak about the Women's World Cup and that's nice. I'm sure it'll be a good event. You go, no, it's the second biggest footballing event in the world. It ranks just behind the Olympics and other things in terms of viewership of people attending. So I just hope that shifts the popular thought across how big our game actually is or isn't in some regards, and that there is as much as I love Australia and I'm very proud Australian as well, there is a world outside of Australia that some people just haven't quite grasped yet of how big our game actually is.
Absolutely. News in this week, World Cup to every 2 years, yes or no? No chance. Yeah, I thought exactly. I know you're currently with Fox Sports, so we'll take it easy and so forth. Broadcasting rights, do you think Fox will still have it?
I know as much as what I read in the papers and get told. I think without Fox Sports, and there wouldn't have been an A-League to start with. I think they've been a tremendous supporter. If they're going to make sure they invest into what they need to do to make the competition successful, that would be great. I also think we still need free-to-air coverage. That comes at a commercial risk and at a cost, I suppose. But may the best company win. May they spend many, many dollars so that it can be reinvested back into the game.
Agreed.
Absolutely. The last two, A-League in 10 years. What do you want to see the A-League in 10 years?
A-League in 10 years. Promotion, relegation, abolition of the salary cap, and the ability for a Leicester City fairy tale or for whoever else to get up from wherever they are to go through and win the A-League. I'm not sure that one will quite happen with ground requirements and what have you, but for that to be a fully functioning football, the top of the football pyramid, and to be a huge commercial success, so we can continue to grow the game.
Yep. Final one, and I know only going back from doing a bit of reading and so forth from a little segment I seen in 2018 where you came into a bit of argy-bargy with Sasha in regards to the VAR. What are your thoughts on the VAR?
I'd get rid of it. I don't. I'm not a fan. If the game is there because players make errors, coaches make errors, referee make errors. It takes away the tension, the joy of scoring a goal, and we don't. It's still for a lot of them. It's still a pretty subjective type thing. It's is it a red card or not? Well, I say yes, you say no, and that's the beauty of it. So. The only one I'd say is over the goal line technology. I'm quite happy for that. Yeah. That's an absolute black and white, measuring the tips of shoulders of players that are offside and what have you. Not for me.
No worries, mate. I'll take these last two in the chat. Benny's just said, where do you put your pineapples then on a Friday night if you can't put them into a poker machine?
They usually go on the horses or something instead.
Very good, very good. And I don't know where the other one just went. Where'd it go?
Where was the other one?
No, it's Villarreal to win the Europa. Yes or no?
No, definitely not. Glory, Man United.
There it is. Now, muchly appreciated, mate. We do thank you for jumping on and, as you see, has given up a little bit of your time to talk a bit of football, mate. Muchly appreciated.
No, it's been my pleasure. Thanks very much, guys.
No worries, mate.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Take it easy, mate. Big shout out to Jamie for jumping on. Absolute character. Villarreal is going to win the Europa.
It's got to be Ferreira. Sorry. Didn't have Bart to say it in front of him.
Yeah. No, one Manchester club friggin' winning something's enough. Hopefully Chelsea win.
Agreed.
Chelsea win and Villarreal to win the Europe's trophies would be fantastic. As we said, big shout out to Jamie. Muchly appreciate him for giving up a bit of his time to talk to him a little bit more about the W League as well, which was a good and the main sort of insight of why I wanted to get him on. Just obviously his time with Sam and as the list of friggin' current Aussies now playing their trade over in Europe, which was in that squad in 2014 was fucking.
It was massive. I remember that W League season.
Yeah. Again, if you guys have not seen the 2000 NSL Grand Final, friggin' find it somewhere. Guys, it's an amazing game to watch. I can remember watching that friggin'. Actually, I think it was at Brownie's place. I think it was my mate's place. Yeah, I think it was at Brownie's place. We ended up watching that.
There is a highlights video on YouTube.
There you go. Go check it out. It's a cracker. The squads, the two squads, Chipperfields, you friggin' Mr. Vibes himself, friggin' Lubo, friggin' Jamie Harnwell, Bobby Despotowski. What can you say?
Bobby Despotowski, yeah.
Such a legend. Of Perth. But yeah, honestly, it's a good honour, to obviously get a bloke like that on to obviously have a chat with. We have changed things up a little bit in the background now, which is well, thanks to Benny.
Don't make them look at it because they'll notice that it's scuffed.
It's scuff. It's Hyundai.
I don't know if you noticed it.
It's Hyundai. Haley?
Oh! I wasn't referring to that, but thank you very much for bringing it up.
I've really only just noticed that. Has that been on every single one?
No, it hasn't.
That's just the one you pinched on tonight, yeah.
Yeah. But no, if you look between both the logos, there's a square of colour that doesn't match up.
There you go.
Because remember the original one of that actually had the Jets logo in the middle? We just put our own, another one on top of it and made it bigger.
Should be the
So trying to retroactively get rid of that Jets logo from the background was not easy.
Yeah. Benny, I do
Should be the
apologise.
Bunnings A-League. No, they've had enough of my money this week.
Benny, I do apologise not getting over to watch you boys play. Probably should have freaking gone instead because it was an absolute shit show at the freaking A-League. But at the end of the day, freaking, I got some stuff out of it, which is what I wanted to go there for. The only reason I went there for. So, yeah, big shout out to those guys. But yeah, how'd you just go? Friggin', I think it was did I say a draw or something?
Mate, Mr. Blinder.
Mr. Blind, yeah, friggin'. I think I was talking to Super Deal. He said he was going to watch the final 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There must be. Yeah, he sort of backs onto where he lives.
Yeah.
He sort of, yeah. But yeah. But I did see it somewhere. I just can't remember what it was now, whether it was a draw or a win or late minute winner or something. But yeah. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much us. We are going to wrap it up. Tangles Lynch scored a 25-yard free kick in the last minute to get a point. That's wow. Hitting bangers. Love it. I think friggin' a mate of ours, I played yesterday, and friggin' mate of ours, he friggin' hit one. Nice. Come at him like a rocket too, friggin'.
And you know what? I work with said mate, and I figured that he'd had a good game before I spoke to you at my lunch break. Because at 7 o'clock this morning, when he was walking around the warehouse, he didn't have his steel caps on. He was in runners, and he was walking around like he'd had his thumb stuck up his ass.
Yeah, he would have been in some.
So I figured that he'd either scored a belter, or the lad ran his legs off, and just couldn't walk, and was feeling a bit tight.
Abermain, I know the captain of Abermain, the Rams. Yeah, no, it was a cracker. It come at him like a freaking rocket too. I'm surprised he freaking didn't fall over or didn't get knocked out by the freaking ball. It come out, freaking big turn, side volley, turned up, freaking bang, smashed it straight past the keeper. That gave us 6, so I ended up winning 6-1. So I scored, he scored, and I got 2 assists, so I was happy.
I scored, he scored, we all scored for...
Yeah, I come off with about 8 minutes to go, I think. I put my hand up and it's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm knackered. I could feel the cut, like the
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I could feel the
calves giving out.
Yeah, no, my calves were not too bad, but my hamstring was just slightly on the. It was like on that. Oh, I'm like, yeah, no.
It's getting tired.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm out. Get out.
Oh, now you know full well why I can't do 90 minutes anymore. I get about 10 minutes into a game and they're screaming at me going, yep, you're done.
Superdale got kicked out of West Mayfield. What a surprise. How funny.
Oh, really?
Told the security guard to wait before he got thrown out because he was on Facebook.
Only
Love
Dill.
It. Love it.
Only Dill.
What a dick. I had 0-0 draw against Cooks Hill, 2 reds, and 3 injuries. Both teams had 10 men, no subs. Wow.
Yeah, Luke was telling me that on Saturday night. It was a Saturday night or yesterday?
Like he's gone! Just like that.
Can't
He's
remember.
gone.
He's gone!
Oh, Ben. You know when Jamie Harnwell friggin' said, he goes, oh, you know, friggin' I elbowed friggin' bloody...
Matty Simon in the mouth.
Simon in the mouth and shit like that and got sent off. I just pressed the applause button, like right at the right.
I'm just sitting there going, dude, you did the thing that all Jet supporters go to bed and dream of at night.
Oh, mate, you freaking rock up in New Year.
Don't feel so guilty.
Yeah, rock up in New Year.
We all think about it. We just live vicariously because you could actually do it and did it.
I'm living the dream, that is. Lucky man. But yeah, so anyway, other than that, freaking, as I said, we're going to pretty much wrap it up. What do we got? Next one. City. Down here. On Saturday, I'll be at
I won't be there.
To watch the boys go around for the last time for the season.
I'll have to miss it.
Oh.
Which I'm not too happy about, but... Hey, I go to all these football matches and do all the streaming and stuff. It's only fair that the missus gets her chance to.
What time does it start?
What? Her thing?
Yeah.
Oh, their table's booked for 7.
Oh, that's alright. The game's at 5.
Yeah, I know. But I have children to worry about.
Yeah, perfect timing, mate.
And they'll be long gone by then.
How are they getting in there?
Driving.
Isn't it in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah. Friggin' shuffle over, friggin' do the switch over.
Underthethumb.com. Nah, it's only fair. I go to all. She lets me go to all the football matches that I want to and doesn't complain. I do all the streaming and she very rarely complains. It's only fair that she gets a night out as well.
Absolutely.
And of course, unfortunately, her shit was booked before we found out the final fucking 5-game fixtures.
Yeah, well,
so we didn't know. It was just unfortunate circumstances.
And this game should have been played weeks ago.
Exactly.
It was a rescheduled event.
Exactly.
We still have 3 games left, don't we? Yes, City, Central Coast, then Perth to round out the season. That's it.
Yeah.
So we hold the fate with Perth to probably getting through because we played them in the final round. And that could be make or break for them making finals football. And because we can't win a game, they'll win easily. So friggin' they're probably in.
We don't have a good track record.
No, exactly right. Hard game for us. It's probably the best chance for us to win. To be fair, City they've already wrapped up the title and that. They might think about resting some players, your Jamie McLarens and stuff.
I doubt
like
it.
That. Maybe. Who knows? So, well, friggin' be
highly doubtful.
No, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what happens because it's going to be pushing very close to friggin' obviously the Socceroos friendly matches, and if McLaren gets a spot, gone. Not only for that game, but friggin' looking for the final series as well. That could be interesting. Do you imagine that? Imagine that. Friggin' gets picked to friggin' go over.
That'd be hilarious.
What a shame that would be.
Hot damn.
Yeah, absolutely. What a bugger. But yeah, so hey Noopy anyway, mate. Good on you.
Noopy's been here.
Get on the lurks, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I seen him earlier. As it stands, we'll play Western Sydney Wanderers in the FFA Cup playoff game. Will Deans will ever coach another win in the league? Oh, fuck. Probably not this season. I can't see us beating City. I can't see us beating the Central Coast Mariners. Definitely can't see us beating Perth. It's not looking good. Brisbane, and I said this to a mate when we were at the game, this is it. This is the game. If we beat Brisbane, maybe we win one more game. But the fact that we dropped the ball against Brisbane and we were in that game right until the end. I can't see us beating any of the sides now. So it's probably
we've had a lot of rotten luck. We've had a lot of
the best we can hope for
missed opportunities.
If we can get a draw out of the coast to put us on level points with Melbourne,
as long as we finish above Melbourne.
Well, we're currently in front on goal difference. We need a point. We're a point behind them, so we need to draw at least. And we need to hope that they don't win. Can't see Victory getting another point. I don't even know who they've got.
I haven't seen their run.
I don't know who they've got, but they didn't play. Honestly, they didn't play too badly against Adelaide.
And that's the thing. Victory, I don't think have played overly bad. They haven't played like Victory, but they haven't played like terrible.
They haven't played as bad as we have.
Well, yeah, there's that, and there are other teams that I've seen play worse.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of bloody Wellington games that I've watched going, any other day, Wellington, you'd get smacked.
Melbourne Victory's final 2 games are against 2 Melbourne derbies. Mate, they'll beat Western United. They'll beat
with Western's form at the moment. Western's form at the moment is fucking dreadful.
Mate, they're gone. They look so
they have choked big time.
They look so disgustingly poor against Wellington. Like, let's take the fact that there was 24,000 people there. It was the first game Wellington have played over there since fucking
the end 12 months.
Season. You take all that aside. Let's take away that friggin' Wellington are playing decent football, mate, they looked absolutely bang average. They were disgustingly poor. And if they rock up even half of what they played against Wellington, Melbourne will beat them. Easily. Yeah. Easily. Comfortably. I reckon probably say 2-0, something like that. They'll get beat. So I don't see them getting beat against City. They do whatever they could in their power to make sure they put every friggin' best play they could on the pitch for that. But Western United, I reckon they'll beat. So
are they gonna lose to City 7-0 to make it 5-6-7?
Hopefully.
Because 5-6-7, but 7-8-9.
Western can still make finals. You kidding? They're 10th.
No, they can. They're only 2 points, I think, behind. No, that's Perth. Perth are 1 point behind Brisbane.
It comes. Go City. The mental train yard. Welcome.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
Go City.
Go City. Absolutely.
Which one?
Yeah. Well, surely you support both.
You need to be a bit more specific.
Surely you support both. If you support one, you support the other. Surely. 3 points behind.
3 points behind 6. It's mathematically possible.
How many games? It's so fucking.
It's mathematically possible.
How many games are they in advance? Because the biggest problem is.
Yeah, that's been the big problem this season. Melbourne City.
I'm pretty sure the teams that are sitting in 5th and 4th have still got games in hand.
Got a game in hand.
So if they've got a game in hand, you're as good as fucked.
Yeah, even if they get a draw out of that. It's been a big wait. Yeah. For you guys, shit yeah it has.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it took them long enough. Meant to be the biggest frigging club in the A-League and shit like that, and it took them so long.
I'll tell you what, you may have won the trophy, but you don't have heart. Haven't you ever heard that one?
Yeah, I have. It's been so long.
It has, because we haven't been able to say it for so many years.
Jesus Christ.
Still reckon one of the best players that mob ever had was Robbie Corrin.
Yeah, Corrin was a gun.
Robbie Corrin.
He was a gun.
And as much as I don't like him because he played for the Vile, but Thomas Sorensen. Class.
But yeah, no. But welcome anyway, mate. Welcome, buddy.
Welcome.
If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to the YouTube side, mate. We're on Twitch. What are you on? You're on the YouTube side. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, mate.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch.
If you do like the stuff you see, we're also on Spotify, Anchor, and Google. No. Apple. Fucking hell.
Apple like us, Google don't.
I got it right last week. I was never going to get it right.
You did. You did.
Never going to get it right too anyway. Yeah, we're all.
Look, once a month. You'll be fine once a month.
That's right. I need to write it down.
But yeah, make sure you go through our back catalogues there, friend, where there's plenty of non-Jets related podcasts there for you to have a listen to.
Plenty of stuff. Yeah, we heavily talk Jets, but at the same time, we do have. You've obviously.
Raleig's probably a good one for him.
Yeah, we've done Raleigh. Obviously before she finished up. But yeah, as I said, we do talk heavily on the Jets side of things, but at the end of the day, we don't mind talking about all things football. It's up to you guys. That's why we do it live, so you guys can jump in and have your say and bring in a topic and let's talk about that. The bees, mate, the bumblebees. Bees have still got a chance. Come on. Out of the only teams I want, to. I don't want any of them to as I said to you last week, I don't want any of them to come up to the Premier League, but surely the bees. Come on, the bees. Brentford.
Yeah, I want Brentford.
The bees to get up.
They've just had so many. It's a bit like what Mental Train Yard said. It's been a big wait. They keep getting there, and they keep falling at the final hurdle.
But yeah, as I said, I'm not a fan of either side.
Sorry?
If they could all stay down, I'd be happy. I don't really want any of them up, to be fair.
You guys that have gone down, I'd have been happy.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Hey, it just makes my job easy to pick the next road to glory for next year.
Brentford need to go up. They don't need to go up. They got free.
No, they do. They've been in the races like 4 times now.
Yeah,
Sutton promoted to League 2.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got promoted.
On you, Brownie.
Yeah, it's all happening.
Wayne Brown is back. Is he still playing?
Oh,
Fuck, he better be still playing.
Buggered if I know.
If he is, he's going to be the next Bobby Burns. He's going to be the first player that I sympathy by.
Friggin'. What happened to the
Told you, man. My next transfer, now that we're in the transfer window again,
who's up for
fucking my next buy is Bobby Burns.
Who got promoted to League 1? I haven't even looked. Actually, it's weird. I haven't even looked at that shit. That's bizarre. I haven't really looked down that far.
I'll have a look.
But friggin'...
I shall have a look.
Yeah, so I would have rather Fulham stay up than friggin' one of them friggin' pricks go down. But anyway, let's take a moment and friggin' thank friggin'
Hull and Peterborough.
Hull
and Peterborough.
Hull went up.
Both. Yeah, Hull went up and Peterborough, and then I think the playoff final is against Blackpool and Lincoln.
Oh fuck.
No.
Oh, thank Christ.
I know Blackpool's in the playoff final.
Cheltenham and Cambridge. Wait, no, they're not in League 2. No, they ain't. Cheltenham and Cambridge. They couldn't have gone to League 1.
Matty.
How are you, mate? Cheers, buddy. Hope you enjoyed Jamie Harnwell. Yeah, it was a good chat. It was a good chat tonight. Sometimes you get blokes and they just sort of, but no, Jamie was good. He was up for it, which was really good. Lincoln beat Sunderland. Yeah, good flogs.
Playoff final will be on Monday the 31st of May at midnight, and it's between Blackpool and Lincoln City.
Lincoln City. Come on, Lincoln. Come on, Lincoln. Get up, son. Fuck Blackburn. Blackpool, sorry.
It's not the 31st yet.
Lincoln won 3-2 on aggregate final.
Yeah, against Sunderland.
Oh, wow.
So Sunderland were denied once again.
Good. Nah.
Good to see Blackpool getting up there again, though.
Yeah. No, it was
but
good.
can we just all, and Luke brought this up the other day, and I completely forgotten as well. Can we just acknowledge the fact that Lincoln City could possibly go up into the championship, considering that 3 or 4 years ago they were in fucking the National League?
Wow.
3.5 years ago they were still in the National League.
Wow.
They've done League 2 and League 1.
Awesome.
Let's all think about that for a moment. They were fucking non-league obscurity.
That's good. It's good to see.
Everyone sat there and just went, Lincoln City, who? I remember it in them coming out in FIFA. I just went, huh? Tomasi brought it up. That was right.
Had soccer, then Nate not going to sleep. I'll rewatch the stream. Yeah, cheers, Lockie. That was good. It was a good stream, mate. You'll enjoy this one. It was good.
Yeah, Luton did it as well.
Yeah.
Before coming back up.
But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting race. I don't know when I'm going to find 5 minutes to do it because it's freaking ridiculously hard now because
freaking Wigan nearly got relegated again.
The British time slot's fucking gone back to 9 hours, so it's a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
But friggin' I'm possibly
going to stream FIFA again? Is that what you're about to say?
No. No, I'm going to go back in time.
Oh, God.
We haven't done it for a very, very, very long time, and I've spoken to him, but fucking everyone here probably hasn't spoken to him, the regulars anyway. I've been speaking to the big man over in the UK, and we are going to get Garfield back on.
I do chat with him every now and then.
Yeah, I've been speaking to him regularly, and we're gonna sort it out. We're gonna figure something out. It's just harder now because it's gone back to fucking 9 hours, so we can't do Sunday nights anymore and shit like that. Oh, we can do Sunday nights. We can do Sunday.
We do Saturday night.
We can do Sunday and Saturday nights are the only real times we can do it now because fucking our Sunday night is his Sunday morning and Saturday night is Saturday morning.
Yeah, so our Saturday night is his...
Smitty, what's going on, loads?
Friday morning, no. Our Saturday night is his Saturday morning.
I've been trying to strike a name, Mandong. Oh,
Mandong.
What do you play on, Benny?
Some of the youth player names.
Oh man, yeah. How are you, Dill?
Some of them are fucking great.
Welcome anyway, Dill. Welcome, mate.
Welcome, Dill.
Mandong has a good touch.
Mandong has a good touch.
Classic. But yeah, so we are going. Or I'm in the pipe works. We're going to sort something out. We'll figure it out. We might have to.
Oh, I miss that cunt.
We might go back to some of the old stuff from friggin'.
No, let's not. We're much better than that now.
PS4 usually, but I'm on my laptop right now. Oh, you played on PC as well? Good shit. If you played on PC, friggin' I'll have your game with you. Because I've only got it on PC.
Oh, that reminds me.
And they're dog shit, they don't cross-play that shit.
Do we reveal them?
Reveal what?
Hang on.
But yeah, so, I don't know. We'll figure something out. If you guys haven't seen or heard of Garfield...
He's a fucking champion.
Was it V2 now? Isn't it? Garfield V2.
No, he's white. Is he still White Ranger Garfield or is he just Garfield now? He was Garfield V2.
He's a fucking wireless vlog wannabe. Fucking, he's just.
Oh, don't even. Did he even get a wireless vlog?
He probably did. No, I don't think he did.
Did he get one?
No,
did he actually get one?
Nah, what a flog.
Fucking you're soft, Terrence.
What do you expect though? Bloke who only bloody creates shit when he fucking absolutely has nothing to do. What was it? Krisnicki first cap Malaysia other night practice game. Oh, there you go. Jeez, good luck he didn't have to freaking quarantine. Jeez.
Yeah. Now, let's see if this is going to work. Do you have Discord open?
Yeah. Got you on my Discord. Oh, what do we got here? I don't even know what do we got.
What the hell?
No, nothing happened.
Did you just close that?
No, I didn't even touch it. I heard the go bloom, but that was it. Says you're live. Doesn't tell me I can. Oh, here we go. Yep. There we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. We've lost Ben.
Oh, it's green screened out.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Oh, that's alright. That's alright. You get the idea, though.
Yeah. It's essentially that logo up there.
It is that logo up there.
It's that logo on there.
So that'll be the away kit for season 3.
Benny Gorn.
Yeah. Tidy? You like?
Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Very good. Very good.
We changed the kit manufacturer as well. We're moving away from Puma. We're going to Umbro.
Umbro. Very good.
And then the home kit's got my logo on it as a placeholder at the moment because I need to get somebody else. I need to get another one. So the home kit.
But Benny, if you don't mind your FIFA, mate, be sure to go over and check Ben's shit out. Over there at Corner Flag Games. Does plenty of FIFA content. Plenty of FIFA content. Lukey will be a gem and he'll fucking whack that in there for us. But yeah, it is what it is. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now we've got something else going on. What do we got here? Oh, fuck, that's orange. Orange and blue.
Yeah, but it's got... Oh,
fuck.
I need to zoom in. It's got patterning underneath it.
Yeah.
In the white.
Yeah. Fuck it, jeez. Yeah. Go back down. Go down. So I'd fucking...
How far down?
Yeah, there. Stop. I'd want my little logo in the captain's armband. That would look sick.
Can be done.
Yeah, friggin', you're not really gonna see it on game days and all that shit.
No, you won't see shit.
But I think it'd be fucking little. I think it'd be cool.
Can be done.
Yeah.
I'll just put it on the other side where it says captain.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is my logo's just a placeholder at the moment until I get another one. But it's got like that triangle, squarey, like patterning underneath it. It's subtle, and it's meant to look subtle.
Very good, Benny. Benny will thank you for that one. Up to 700 and something now that Benny's just subbed.
What, to me?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Just sub to Corner Flag Games. Thanks, Penny.
Cheers, mate. Make sure you subbed on
Cheers,
my
mate.
side. Make sure everyone's
I'm not
subbed
signed in at the moment. I'm in Josh's one. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just...
Talk again for me, Josh.
Yes, mate. I'm here.
There we go.
I'm
Got
here.
ya.
Thanks, mate.
I got you.
Oh,
I
very
got
good.
you.
Very good. I'm right here. Right here. Can we just take a moment, friggin' give a shout out to friggin' Genie One Eldon. What a legend.
GG.
Thanks for your service, champ. Thanks for your service.
How's he going? Is he?
Yeah, he's off to somewhere.
Where's he off to?
Nowhere. He's still contracted until the end of July. No, 1st of July.
He's one of my
End of
favourite
June.
players at Liverpool.
Currently without a club, no one's come forward and shit like that. There was heaps of talk of him going to Barcelona and Real Madrid and all that sort of shit.
Going where?
Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, all the usuals. You know what it's like. But it'd be interesting to see where he ends up. I think he'd do really well in the Bundesliga. I think going to somewhere like friggin'
Dortmund.
He'd go to Dortmund, Bayern, any of those places he would excel. But yeah, interesting to see what's going to happen. Interesting that's going to see what's happening. I'm still trying to come to terms with the freaking next season's kits. Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Not sure.
The orange.
Not sure.
Nah, the orange is fucking out there.
Hey, guess what?
Which will be good in probably a month or two, roughly.
Our interview with Jamie Harnwell is now up on Anchor.
There you go. Be sure if he's go watch
Been doing shit in the background.
Good boy. But yeah, I'd say probably that'll be another episode in a couple of weeks. We'll be able to friggin' sit there and go through some kits, have a look, see what's happening in the world of football. Who's got the dodgiest kit? We've had some shonks in the friggin' last couple of years.
Yeah. Anything from the English leagues in 1992 season, I think it was the 1992 season, is god awful.
Yeah, it's
where they had like all the paint splotches.
Yeah. That was
I think Norwich had one, we had one, fucking... There was a few, and they looked fucking god awful.
Yeah, it was pretty dog shit. So, but yeah.
It's like they'd given a 3-year-old a paintbrush and went, here, design a kit.
Design a kit. Very good. But yeah, so as for next week, no idea what we're going to do at this point. I haven't got anyone lined up as of yet. I might see what the girls are up to, and might look at maybe getting them on for a bit of a quiz. Might look at doing. We've done a bit of that in the COVID times. So if you
trying to set up for that again, it's going to be.
Oh no, we'll sort of do it just real basic.
Interesting.
Real basic. We won't have to stress too much about the points, and
yeah,
I think we might just sort of do it as a, buzz in sort of thing.
A 1v1.
Yeah, well, you can go put 3. We might do some, depending on who's available, and then might look at getting a guest on or something like that. I know Lucas was keen to jump on there for a bit of trivia and stuff like that. So, and that way they just use their name as a buzzer.
Yeah.
Lucas. Yep. Or whatever. Casey, Cass, whoever. Claire, Tess, Tara, whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll find some girls. We'll find some people. See what the go is, and go.
Get some bodies.
Get some bodies, but that might be something. The 90s was a wonderful time. Mate, they were wonderful.
They were.
What a decade that was. Good time to be alive, that was. But yeah. Other than that, I think we're going to wrap it here. What'll be a shit
30 years ago now.
Oh, many moon ago.
30 years ago now.
But yeah, getting into the pointy season. Premier League's done and dusted. Lucas probably.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I actually friggin' caught up with him after the game. I caught up with him after the game on Friday night, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to catch up with him down at the City game, and he's going to hopefully, he said he'll come over and get a photo. The wife wants to get a photo, so I was like, righto. He's like, yeah, he goes, fuck off, yeah, I'll come over. I yelled at him from like halfway across the pitch on the so they sort of just they kind of sort of come towards, but because the squadron's shit. There is no supporter base. Literally, it was like 6 people.
Super Deal and his bright green rain jacket.
Super Deal, Luke Gibbons, and that's about it. A few other boys. So you had to yell at him halfway across the pitch. Like Luke's looking at me going, friggin', he goes, oh, friggin', he's not going to come over. I'm like, you going to make a bet? He's yelled abuse at him, like, Lucas, get over here.
He would have noticed your voice anyway.
Yeah, he trudged over. He goes, oh, what are you doing all up here? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you going next week? I'm like, yeah, mate, I'll be there. He's like, very good. So, hopefully he gets another chance. He'll get plenty of chances now. He'll get a few chances now.
Dill had the green jacket at West. Dill has the green jacket in just about every photo I've seen him in.
The green jacket at West. Yeah.
He needs to retire it.
Loves it. Yeah, he does. It's a shit jacket.
That's been on more away. That green jacket's been on more away days than half the supporter base.
Correct. But with O'Toole out, he should have a bit of a chance for the remainder of the season. So hopefully that'll give him
I'm so excited.
Give him some hope to shine and show what he can do, because he looked good. He come on against Brisbane. He looked good.
Yeah,
looked really good. So it is what it is. But yeah, as we said, Premier League's done and dusted. Championship's almost done and dusted. A-League's almost done and dusted. We're getting to the pointy end. That only means one thing: international football, lads. It's coming very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Europa League starts in just under 3 weeks. Copa America starts in roughly the same time. International friendlies, international World Cup qualifiers, all the fucking shit. The Olympics, obviously, so the Joeys will be at it. It's freaking, mate.
They will.
Football is going to be going off tap. So much football. What have we got? I think after that. But actually, Matty, what happened to you? I thought you said you were coming to the game. Chris and I were looking for you. Of course, I was there the week before.
Other squadron playing at Mayfield.
Yeah, I know, that's right. It's literally what I said. Literally what I said to a few of the boys. I'm like, they're all playing Friday night football. But that's what it was. But even if they weren't part of the squadron, so many people play Friday night football because it's convenient. They've got the whole weekend to do whatever they want there.
Matty fell asleep.
Wow.
Too much wine, mate.
Fucking no, it's Matty Taylor. Wow. You soft cock. Anyway, that's funny. But yeah, it wasn't too bad a game. Like we played good bits, but just still played some shit football. It is what it is. But you can definitely see that Carl's come in and he's changed things up. He's whatever it is that he's doing there, even if it's just little things, like it's changing. You know what I mean? The way the football is changing. Yeah. Woke up 10 minutes in. Still had time to come to the second half. But yeah, so it is what it is. Anyway, we're going to wrap it. Roy Chip, absolutely. I can't believe he missed. Can't believe Roy missed. That was like, honestly, he missed that goal, and I instantly went, fucking, Luke's going to fucking say something. Like, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for a message. Or someone going, oh, yeah, fucking told you, Roy, shit. Because at that point in time, I would have agreed with you. I was freaking so pissed. Oh, man. But anyway, guys, we're going to leave it. Yeah, we're going to leave it. We're going to wrap it up. We do thank you guys for jumping on this episode. As we said before, big shout out to Jamie Harnwell. Thanks very much to him for jumping on all the way over there from Perth. Big shout out again to Gabrielle Mark, optometrist at Jesmond. Without you guys, this show wouldn't continue. Yeah, and we will catch you guys, and you guys obviously as well, the originals, the regulars, the guys that have come in for the first time. I believe there was a couple in there. Obviously, Noopy was Luke, and Dill came in late. Lockie came in late. Matty came in late. So many people come in late. Jesus Christ. Don't you guys look...
And we started late.
Yeah. No, we started early, to be fair. Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
No, we started late. We started at 8 o'clock. Normally we start at 7:30.
Oh, yeah. The Mental Train Yard, welcome, mate. Even though you're a City fan, we welcome you. We don't care who you support here, as long as you support football. That's the main one. Other than that, we'll catch you guys real soon on the next one. And yeah, as we said before, be sure to subscribe to the channels, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Anchor, Spotify, Apple. Got it. And that's pretty much all of them, yeah? Yeah, I guess. I picked up some new specs from Gabriel. Good boy. Good boy.
Good lad.
You know what that means? You're getting old. Anyway, guys, big shout out, as we said, big shout out to those guys. Be sure to go and see them if you need any eye care needs. Other than that, guys, we'll catch you guys next time. And as always,
we hate Coast Scum.
Yes, we fucking do, and we will
be
yelling it loud on Tuesday night against the fucking Scum themselves. You know what would be great?
What?
If at the end of the season, Matt Simon comes out and announces his retirement. That'd be fantastic.
Comes out and says he's retired. I thought you were just going to leave that sentence as if he comes out at the end, just as he comes out at the end of the season.
That'd be even funnier.
I think we might need to say goodbye to the people that are viewing on Twitch.
Twitch? Who's on Twitch? I can only see...
They're about to leave us. Maddie, Noopy.
Yes.
They're about to leave us in about 5, 4, 10, 9, 8, 7,
Where are we going?
6.
You again.
Yes.
Be sure to go out and see the Vinesy superstar. Big
Bye.
Man. Catch you later. And Western Suburbs scum.